Happy morning to all of you. To entire teaching fraternity, I wish to say with immense gratitude, Happy Teachers Day. According to me, a passionate teacher not only teaches a subject, but also teaches students how to live life. God creates and a teacher recreates. Teachers are God-chosen ones. Whenever I entered into the four walls of a classroom, I always asked myself these two questions. Why do we teach history when we can teach students how to create history? Why do we teach science when we can teach them the science of living? Krishna said in Gita, someone is hungry, you can give him the food. Annadanam is good, but after 6 hours he will feel hungry once again. Vastradanam is good, but after 1 year this fabric will tear away. Monetary benefit is good, he will spend it after some day. The only thing that can stay within any human being till his last breath is knowledge. And only a teacher is bestowed with this kind of gift of looking at his student scaling up great heights in life. Teacher, according to me, is, I would define it as a ladder, and where all the students will use this ladder to go up in life. A professor in IIM Ahmedabad will still be a professor, and he will try to create so many entrepreneurs year on year, till he gets retired. All it requires to turn a student's life is one word, one advice, one warning, one suggestion, one pat. I still remember when I was in my 9th class, moving from 9th class to 10th class. I was one of the students who was sitting in the last benches and sleeping in the class. And everyone who watches the video will be able to correlate. Generally, teacher uses a chalk piece to wake me up. And I woke up and teacher asked me, please solve this problem. And I said, ma'am, I could not solve it. And rest of all the classmates were laughing at me. And she looked into my eyes and she said, Anil, someone's opinion of you that you can't do anything in life should never become your reality. Until today, that statement has become one of the core values in my life. Ramakant Acharya was never a better cricketer than Sachin Tendulkar. But it was his coaching that showed Sachin Tendulkar to Sachin Tendulkar, and in turn showed him to the world. O.M. Nambiar was not a great athlete compared to P.T. Usha, but it was his immense coaching abilities that made P.T. Usha get into the world. I think the greatness of a teacher towards a student is to show the capability that he is already possessing, and the greatness of a student towards a teacher is to keep up the capability the teacher has already shown. I firmly believe that in every word inherited from a passionate teacher to a student, it is not only the word, a transference of energy is also going. For every word inherited from a teacher to a student, a part of that teacher is also being present. If you remove the sun from the rays, nothing will remain. If you remove the mud from the ponds, nothing will remain. If you remove the teachings of the teacher, nothing of us will remain. I think you can cross your entire life without meeting an engineer, without meeting a business person, without meeting a CA. No human being till his last breath can lead his life without meeting a teacher. Everyone knowingly or unknowingly is shaped by a teacher. A student right after his 10th class making out a career in his intermediate, whether it is mathematics or biology, is directly dependent on who is teaching the biology or math subjects from his 8th class to 10th class. A student's dreams will happen within the four walls of a classroom. Depending upon the excitement levels of the teacher who is teaching that subject, student will start creating his own dreams. And it is a myth that a teacher is a jug full of knowledge and student is an empty jug. Neither a teacher is a jug full of knowledge and neither a student an empty jug. I think for me the greatest definition of teaching is a beautiful word known as co-traveling. How about a teacher? I think all the greatest teachers I have met till right now use this sentence, I don't know, let's explore it together. I think co-traveling with a student and making a his dreams come true is one of the greatest things. I think in the life of a teacher, I think teaching according to me is one of the selfless expression a human being chases to. If ask any person who got into IITs or IIMs or became successful in life, at some point of the other, at his early stage of his life, he met a great teacher, and the great teacher with his great teaching abilities has in turn transformed his life. I always say my students, any successful person who became successful in life, at some point or the other, at some context or the other, at some incident, he met another person, and that person has transformed his life. And I think nothing is, in a span of 24 hours, a kid spends in a school for about 12 to 14 hours. I think teaching for me, I think Kabir says so beautifully, there was a guy and he has to choose between two persons. One is God and another is a teacher. God says that I will not descend into you, because God asked that person, will you eat in a dirty place? Will you go to a dirty toilet? Will you use a dirty towel? If you as a mortal, if you are so dirty, how can you expect me to transcend into you? And the God shows that person to a teacher and says that a teacher is someone who can purify you and give that entire purified version to me so that I can transcend at it. I truly believe to all the people who are watching this video, teaching is not only good for you, teaching is good for so many people around. I think the greatest reward for me in all my 6.5 years of my learning is students coming back and saying me that I think it's so good to have you in your life. And I firmly believe that if given an opportunity for me, if I were to choose between God and teacher, first I will touch the feet of a teacher and I look into the eyes of a God and says that I will meet you next day in my next life as a teacher. There is no flute in the hands of Hari Prasad Chaurasia. Never knew when it was a bamboo that one day it will become a flute in the hands of a maestro. There was no statue that you are praying today. Never knew that when it was a stone that one day it becomes a statue worthy of being worshipped by hundreds and thousands of people. There is no student. I think it's the responsibility of a teacher to convert an ordinary student to an extraordinary performer. A teacher by name Pullala Gopichan can transform his Neymar into an extraordinary performer because of his coaching abilities. I think coaching or teaching, according to me, is a true reflection of a student, showing a student his own strengths, weakness and everything. I firmly believe that as a passionate teacher, as a student who is watching that video, my sincere recommendation to all the students who are watching that video, you are better than you think that you are. God never gives you the idea without giving you the power to achieve that idea. You yourself got an idea that in your third year, second semester, that you will do a get into IIMs. You have already got all the capabilities to nurture that idea. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either ways you are right. Gautam Buddha said, as you think, so you become. Go and meet the person you shall be in future.